Hey everyone, this is Joseph with Joseph's Reserves. I have a pretty exciting video for you today. I just got this Eisenhower Dollars album, and we're going to be going ahead and putting all of these coins in this album. So these Eisenhower Dollars, I've been able to pick up at face value, $1, except for the silver ones. These three here, silver ones. I've been able to pick these up for face value because my coin shop actually keeps a few of these on hand to give out for change, just kind of as a novelty. He gets them from the bank for face value and he just passes them out. So while I'm there, I usually spend an extra $1 to get one of these if I remember to do so. These are all of the different years that I've been able to find and collect, and let's just get right into it. All right, so first off, let's go ahead and talk about the book that I got. So in 1971 and 1972, there are some varieties to look for. In 71, Philadelphia, there's a type 1 and type 2, which I'll go over. And in 1972, Denver, there's actually a type 1, 2, and 3. So there's going to be 3 extra coins that we have to put into this book that is not marked. Eventually, I'm going to get a label maker and go ahead and put those variety names underneath the numbers there, the years. And at the end, there's actually 3 unmarked ones, so I will be able to fit those 3 coins into the book. It just won't be next to the other varieties. So we have 71. Each year has a Philadelphia and Denver and a San Francisco. So in 71, the San Francisco and the San Francisco proof were both 40% silver. That is also the case for the 72 S ones, both 40% silver. As we get to 73, however, we see that there's a 73S and a 73S silver, and then a 73S silver proof. So they started making clad proofs. Really, this one should say proof underneath it. They started making clad proofs for 73 and even 74. However, they still made the silver proofs and the silver business strikes. I don't have any of those to be putting in here. I do have, I believe, just the 74 Denver that will be going in here. But after that, they didn't make any in 75. Instead, that year, they made extra of the bicentennial years. That's 1976. So these ones are actually labeled 1776 to 1976, celebrating the 200-year anniversary of America. And this year, they had a variety 1 and 2 in every version of the coin except for the silver ones. So in Philadelphia, there's a variety 1 and 2. In Denver, there's a variety 1 and 2. And even the San Francisco Clad Proofs has a variety 1 and 2. Then there is the 40% silver business strike from San Francisco and the 40% silver proof from San Francisco. After that, there's no more silver. They just made the Philadelphia, Denver, and Clad Proof in 77 and 78, and that will close out our book. So again, here I'm going to be putting the 71 type 2, the 72 Denver type 2 and 3. All right, that was enough explaining of the collection, so we're just going to go ahead and start looking at some coins. All right, so right off the bat, I actually misspoke. The 71, it's actually the Denver that has the 2 different varieties. And I actually have 1 of each, so let's go ahead and take a close look at what those are. This one's not the best looking one. There is, looks like an S kind of carved into it and that mark on his face. However, this is the regular or more common looking type. So this may be upgraded pretty easily. So we'll go ahead and take a close look. What you're looking at here is the eyebrow above the eagle, it has a hard line there. And on the other one, it's called a friendly eagle. The die was polished, so that line disappeared. In addition to that, these craters down here had added features and extra lines. So that one's also pretty easy to see without magnification. Here you can see those craters are a little more dull, less features on them, especially the one farther back by the R. Whereas on this example, there's a lot more features on that crater. So this one is called the Friendly Eagle. It doesn't have that almost angry looking eyebrow like how this one has. So this Friendly Eagle is considered the type 1, and the more common date is considered the type 2. So this type 2 will be going in the back of the book. After that, I do have the business strike. This was cut out of an uncirculated plastic. Today it was. It does have a bit of a hazy tone to it, but that's all right. I have two other ones and they look exactly the same as far as the haze. So it might have just been a default in the plastic that year. As you can see, this one does have that raised eyebrow, so that was the intended design. All right, we're going to continue through these years and then get them all in the book so we can see what they. Next up, we have the 1972s, and again, I misspoke. It was the 72 Philadelphia that has type 1, 2, and 3. Where the Denver actually just has one type. So this one here that I'm holding is actually a type 3. You can tell from the moon. Well, I guess Earth, which is acting as a moon because this is on the moon. So as you can see, these islands off the coast of Florida, I think those are supposed to be Cuba. There's one example where the leftmost island is just a dot and then another dot on the right island. This one you can tell is an elongated island. Let's see if we can get some magnification on that. Oh, this might work. There we go. So as you can see, the islands are elongated there. This is not the best picture. I may just see if in my editing app I can just zoom in. So as you can see there, the island is elongated in the moon. And I'm going to use this 72 Denver so you can see what the type 1 island looks like, where there are just 3 dots there. I do have a few different 72 Denvers. I just saw this smudge up in the letters. Let's see, we will go ahead and put this one into the book. So as you can see, the islands are 3 distinct different islands, and they don't have that elongated. The other one is a type 2, where the die was polished and it's just completely smudged out. Kind of looks a little bit like what this silver, 40% silver one looks like, where the planet is just kind of smudged. You can't really tell the islands at all. The type 2 does look even a little bit worse than this, but all of these silver ones ended up with that smudgy earth looking. So this is not a type variety. This is just what the silver ones look like. So I do have these 3 coins to be going in. The type 3 will be going in the back of the book. And this Denver and silver will be going in the front of the book. So I don't have any 73s. So the next one up is this 74 Denver. I did not have a very good close look at these coins. There's a scratch right there on his face. I do have a better example right here. So as you can see at this point, the eyebrow is no longer a deep cut engraving, and they were able to figure out the islands. It looks like it might be stuck with the type 3, the elongated island. That might be what they ended up going with. It's probably a more close representation. I haven't even looked at a map to see what the islands actually look like. So this is the 1974 Denver. After that are the bicentennials. So remember, there is a type 1 and a type 2 bicentennial. I have a Philadelphia and a Denver, both of which are the type 2, which are more common. So you can tell by the lettering. The silvers all are made of the same type, and these are the type 1s. So on the letterings, you can see where 1 is the type 2s are a thinner letter with more angles cut into them, where the type 1 are thicker, bolder letters with less angles cut in. They're more straight lines or 90 degrees. If you look at the T's, you'd see how the edges of the T's are cut at angles, whereas on the type 1, the sides of the T's are cut at 90-degree angles. As well as the E has serifs on type 2 and not on type 1. So that's the difference between the type 1 and 2 of the bicentennials. What I have is a Philadelphia and Denver type 2, and this silver proof, which only came in the type 1. And then we have the 77 and 78 years. I only have one example of each of those. The 78 is from Philadelphia, and the 77 is from Denver. All right, so that is our 12 coins that are going to be going into our book. So let me go ahead and put those in, and we'll take a look at what they look like in the book. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these coins in the book. So here I have that 71 Denver. The type 2 is in the back. I have the 71 40% silver that we just cut out. And then I don't have the proofs. I do have this 72 Denver. The 72 Philadelphia is the one that went in the back as a variety. I did cut out this 72 San Francisco business strike. It's incredibly reflective, so you're getting a lot of that glare off. This is not a proof. This is just a really nice business strike, and it's 40% silver. There's the reverses there. All right. Of this page, I only had the one 1974 Denver. And then here I have the bicentennials. We were able to fill 3 of those spots. This proof was a lot harder to crack out of that capsule than a normal capsule. I essentially had to just break the capsule to get it out. But I'm happy it is where it is. And then on this last page, we have the 77 Denver, the 78 Philadelphia, And then again, I'll get a label maker here, but this is the 71 Denver type 2 and the 72 Philadelphia type 3. So, like I said, we had 12 coins. Let's quickly count how many there's supposed to be. There are 35 coins to collect. So at 12, we're just past a third of the collection. So I could easily go out and buy a lot of these just regular business strike ones for very, very cheap. Even the proofs and silver proofs are not very expensive. But these are ones that I've collected just by purchasing what my coin shop had for change. So I've been able to get all these at face value. The silver ones I've bought from my coin shop, either in the proof sets or the full uncirculated ones that were distributed in the envelopes. Since they're 40% silver, the coin shop doesn't really like to hold on to them, so they sell them to me for a bit of a steal. So I believe even these silver ones only cost me about $10 or potentially less than spot. So that's how I'm going about collecting for this book. If you like this video, make sure you show me by giving me a thumbs up. If you like this type of content, I also post silver updates and coin roll hunts. So if you like to see any of that stuff, make sure you give me a follow, subscribe, and share the video if you think anyone you know might enjoy this video or any of my other ones. But most of all, thank you for watching.